So you want to learn a language on your own, but you're not sure where to start or even how to start? Well, let me tell you, you came to the right video. By the end of this video, I'm gonna give you a bunch of tips, tricks, and methods to use in order to learn a language on your own. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah. So I'm going to divide this video into 4 sections: speaking, listening, writing, and reading, as these are the 4 main skills when it comes to learning a language. So first, we're going to start with arguably the hardest of the 4 skills, which is speaking. So you might think to yourself, how can I practice speaking at home by myself when speaking involves usually 2 people? Well, there are ways. For the first method, let me ask you a question. Have you ever pretended to be an influencer or a YouTuber, vlogging your life and being like, hey guys, today I'm gonna clean my room? Have you ever done something like that? Or have you pretended to argue with an imaginary person and end up in tears after 20 minutes of this imaginary fight? Yeah. Or do you ever think to yourself in general about things that you need to do or planning things, literally whatever thoughts you have? If you've done any of those, you can do those out loud. Just do it in your target language. I really recommend this. It can be a great way if you don't have someone to practice with, or maybe like you're a bit shy and you're not comfortable yet speaking with others in your target language. Pretend to be a YouTuber, pretend to be an influencer in your target language. When you're getting ready for work or school or whatever, be like, okay guys, so now I'm gonna do this, do that. That is a great way to practice. Or, you know, sometimes you really want to go on a rant, but maybe you don't want to post it on YouTube, but sometimes we talk to ourselves in the mirror. I do at least. I keep yapping. I am a yapper, okay? So if you are a yapper and you can't yap to someone all the time, you can yap in front of the mirror or just yap to yourself. You can talk to yourself, okay? This is just a great way. Just switch it to your target language. You know, it might be slow at first, but it's just a great way to practice. And most likely you're gonna be talking about stuff that is relevant to you, which is very, very important. Or you can get in an argument, pretend to fight in that language. I feel like that is, you know, some tea. Talk about your work day, talk about your surroundings. Like, try to describe your room, try to describe the outdoors when you're outside, try to describe an experience you had. And you can think to yourself out loud, like your to-do list, like, what do I need to do today? Just speak out loud. So another method that you can use that involves speaking with yourself or just speaking by yourself is not actually a method that I came up with. I actually watched a few videos from another YouTuber. His name is Language Lords, and he had a really cool concept in one of his videos when it came to speaking practice. So basically, he would take time to record himself, like on your computer or whatever, and you're just talking to the computer or to the device that which you're recording on, and you are talking about a specific topic. You can talk about like anything. What do you need to do today? Or maybe you're summarizing a video or an article that you read. Any topic, literally. Just choose a topic and record yourself for a certain amount of time. You can speak until you don't want to speak anymore, or you can set a timer. Okay, I want to talk for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5, 10, 30 minutes. And one important thing when you're recording in your target language, if you don't know how to say a word or a phrase, or you don't know how to say like a sentence, just say it in your native language or say it in whatever language you're comfortable with, okay? Because we will actually be correcting that in the second part of this process. So then once you stop recording, this is the interesting part. Say like maybe you spoke 50% in your target language. Now what you're gonna do is go back, watch the recording, and basically take notes, and wherever you said a word, phrase, sentence in your native language, you're gonna research and look up what that word or phrase or whatever is in your target language, and you're gonna make notes, okay? So you're gonna go through that whole video and do that for everything. That way you have new vocabulary, new phrases, grammar, etc., etc. Once you've gone through that and you can study those notes, then you repeat the process. You film yourself again and you try to speak again about that topic. And then you can keep repeating this over and over until you basically speak almost 100% in your target language, or until you feel pretty comfortable conversing about that subject. And so I think that's a really interesting way to actively practice your speaking, not just speaking to speak, but actually going back and trying to correct things that you didn't know and actively learn from your discussions and from your conversations. I recommend watching his videos to learn more about his structure to learn more specifically about how he did it. So if you're trying to have a conversation with yourself and you don't know what to talk about, ask AI or look it up on the internet. Conversation topics, conversation questions, and ask AI, like just describe your situation. Like, I'm trying to learn this language. Here are some things I'm interested in. Please generate some topics that I can discuss or some questions that I can answer. AI can be a great tool to supplement your learning and especially to generate ideas and questions for when you're gonna talk to yourself. So this next speaking tip is kind of in between speaking with another person and speaking by yourself. And that is watching and conversing with those guided conversation videos that teachers and tutors will make on social media and on YouTube. So I don't know if you've ever seen one of those videos, like on TikTok, for example, where they're like, let's practice English. I'm in green and you're in red. And like they'll speak and then you respond with that. So you'll respond with like whatever is in red. So you can use those types of videos, or I think there are also videos where they will talk to you and then they'll pause for like 30 seconds, 1-2 minutes to give you time to respond. And then they'll go with the next question. So that's a really good way. Like, you are somewhat talking to a person and it's like a guided conversation, but at the same time, you're not talking to a person in real time. So you can pause, you can rewind and, re-listen to their question. You can take breaks, you can correct yourself and repeat as many times as you need to. So I feel like this is also a really nice way to practice. Also, if you want to have conversations, but you don't have access to a person to speak with, you can use AI. I think AI is advanced now, like where you can have conversations with ChatGPT and maybe some other AI technologies. I personally haven't tried it, but it could be a very useful way to practice your speaking. If you're shy and you're still uncomfortable speaking with like a real person, or you just don't have access at the time, one thing to keep in mind is there's a chance that AI will make mistakes, because I've seen online that a lot of people say it makes a lot of errors when it comes to language learning, but at least it's better than nothing. It's a resource that's there. You can use it, you cannot use it, but that is another way you could practice your speaking. Now let's talk about different ways you can practice speaking with another person. The first one is getting a language exchange partner. If you have someone in your community that is willing to practice with you, I think utilize that. But if you don't, you can also utilize various apps and websites to find language exchange partners. Also, if you are a university student and you go to like a big university, there is a good chance that you can join a language or culture club that holds conversation hours weekly or bi-weekly, monthly for various languages. That is a possibility that you might want to check out. Now with language exchange apps, you can go kind of the more traditional route where you find one person to speak with, or you can also use these audio only apps. So an app that I personally used when I was learning Arabic was Clubhouse, and I used Clubhouse a ton, like I think in 2021, but I was using it when it was super popular. And so basically every day almost I was on there. I was listening and I was speaking in Arabic, in Egyptian Arabic. There were a lot of Egyptians on the app. So I was just having conversations nonstop for free. And there were also people trying to have conversations in, Italian, Spanish, like a bunch of other languages as well. And the nice thing about that app was you could join like these rooms and you don't have to speak. You can just listen to people having a conversation in real time, or you can join in on the conversation and contribute. You can talk with just one person or with multiple people. And I think that is a really unique and dynamic way to practice speaking, because when you're speaking with one person, that's one thing, but speaking with a group of people is different. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of people talking. You got to keep track more. And another thing is that I've seen a lot of language apps in the past couple of years start to offer these like audio rooms or audio language exchange rooms within their apps. You can also just message and reach out and find one to a couple of language exchange partners. You can send voice notes. That's a good idea to practice your speaking. Another thing is that if you're using Hello Talk, there is a moment section. You can record yourself speaking about a topic and you can post it on there, and then people can comment. They can potentially correct what you're saying. That's another way to practice, and you don't actually have to talk to a person. You can record what you want to say and post it on Moments, or you can talk to a person. I just want to tell you, be cautious when you talk to people on the internet. Be safe. Safety comes first. You need to know that. Don't give out your personal information. Be careful, okay? It can be a great way to learn languages, but there are some people who spam on there, and there can be issues. So just please be careful. Another really cool way that you can practice speaking is becoming a content creator, or not just becoming a content creator, but creating content in that language. I love this method. This is what I have done. So this is actually not my first YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel in Arabic Arabic. I can link it up there or wherever in the card section if you want to check it out. But making content in a foreign language is a very good practice. I've seen a lot of people do this with Korean or Italian or whatever. They'll post on TikTok or Reels just like a small snippet of them talking. And I do the same thing. Like I have a TikTok and I posted so many videos of me speaking Arabic. People will comment, correct me. I post on there sometimes asking questions and people just respond. And it's very, very useful. It's a great way as well if you're okay with being in front of the camera and being on the internet. That's another useful way as well. So now I want to talk about a paid way where you can practice your speaking, and that is taking lessons with a language tutor or teacher, whether that be in person or online. So I actually have personally used this method. I've had, I think, over 300 language lessons over the years. Personally, it was very helpful for me, especially as someone who was not super motivated to like learn on my own. I think it can be helpful in circumstances like if you have the money to be able to invest in your language skills and you find a good tutor that you can vibe with and have good conversations with, or you feel like their teaching or tutoring style really resonates with you. I think this can be a really great way to learn a language or practice like what you're learning on your own. So some reasons why it might also be useful. One, money is involved, so that might incentivize you more to study or at least to attend those lessons. Another useful thing is that when you're conversing and maybe you make like an error or a mistake, it can be corrected by like a native speaker or a teacher or a tutor. And I feel like that's super useful, and that's what I've done for many years. That's literally how I learned Egyptian Arabic, by the way. Like I learned Egyptian Arabic from zero by having so many conversations and basically having so many notes from them and just over and over and over again, just talking so much. My teachers correcting my mistakes, writing them down. I can review them, but I didn't review them that much. So that's like, you should probably review your notes, okay? Don't be like me. And then another thing is you can have different styles of lessons. So personally, I really like conversational lessons for most languages that I learned, but you can also have more structured lessons. So if you need structure, this could be useful as well. And something I really like is that they're tailored to our conversations and like things that I've talked about. So that's really useful. I can make a video about this because I've literally taken so many online lessons. I know the deal. So let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video about that, because I definitely can, you know. Language Baddies here to help. Now let's talk about how to practice your listening. The internet is your oyster. You have so many resources online. Watch YouTube videos in your target language or videos on social media, whether that be like TikTok, Reels. Short form content can be very helpful. Watching stuff made for native speakers as well as watching stuff made for learners of that language is very, very helpful and very useful. You can watch series and movies in your target language. You can listen to music. You have podcasts. Also audio rooms. So I talked about Clubhouse and those like audio room apps earlier. You don't have to participate in those conversations. You can literally just sit in the room and just listen to people talk. And I think it's like a really cool dynamic perspective because it's just like raw conversation. It's not like edited like in all these videos and stuff. It is just there. Another thing is that there are some audio lesson series or audiobooks. So one thing that I will recommend, if you are in the US, check out your public library. Maybe you can get those for free. I'm not sure about other countries, but people in the US, utilize your local libraries. You can get resources there for free or for reduced cost. Okay, so check it out, see if they have stuff available. And also some libraries, you can access language apps for free that are normally paid. You know, that's cool. So check it out. Another thing to keep in mind when you're listening is that you can listen at different speeds. I know when native speakers talk, sometimes they can speak very, very fast. So something that you just need to remember when you're watching videos is that you have the ability to slow it down or speed it up. If you need to watch it at like 0.5x speed, 0.75, do that, you know? That way you'll be able to better comprehend if needed, because understanding is ideal when we listen to stuff. But of course, it's a process. But just know that that is a tool that you should use if they're going too fast for you to comprehend anything. Maybe try to slow it down, see if that helps. Okay, now how do you practice writing? One, taking notes in general, either digitally or writing down like on a piece of paper in a notebook. That's gonna help you practice writing. Also, please learn the alphabet. If your language has a different script, please learn that alphabet, okay? Please. Another thing that can really help with writing is commenting under videos that you watch on YouTube or on social media in general. You can, write a comment, summarize the video, or ask a question, how you felt, be nice. But that can be a good way to practice, like going through the comment section and writing something. Another tip to practice writing is journaling. A lot of people, not Not me, but I want to try at some point, like to journal. And so why not try that in your target language? Just try to journal a little bit every day, every week, whatever time frame that you want. Just journal in your target language. And jumping off of that, you can practice writing prompts online via various like language apps. So for example, italki, they have an exercise section where you can exercise your languages, have like writing prompts listed. Like they have prompts for you to talk about. They generate like a bunch of really like random topics. And so you can choose one of those and then practice your writing, and then you post it and people correct you. Tutors, teachers, and like just native speakers or people, like they will correct your writing. And that's also, you can do that on Hello Talk in the moment section. You can write something, and I've done this before, write something, write whatever, even if it's like a word or a sentence, post it. People might comment, but also some people will correct you, and it's very nice. I recommend that. You can even, you know, look like describe a picture, describe an event. You know, you could post a picture and like describe what's happening in the picture, for example. You know, be safe, obviously, but that is a way to practice your writing. And at last, we have reading. So how do you practice your reading? You know, there's, you know, like the read books and articles and everything. Yeah. But also, I think it's really cool to practice reading through reading the comment sections on YouTube videos and videos on social media. You might learn some new slang and people have discussions in those. So that's a really cool way to practice reading, especially in a more bite-sized format. In addition to that, when we talk about bite-sized reading, Twitter/X, they have a character limit. So in essence, every tweet has to be within, I think, what, 280 characters. So in essence, you're getting bite-sized pieces and commentary that you can read and practice with instead of very, very long chapters. Also, are there social media apps that you can download and use in your target language? So I'm not just talking about switching the language on the apps you already have into your target language. That could help, you know, with the algorithms and everything. But for example, like in Korea, I think they have Naver blogs where you can follow people and like they post blogs and, you know, write stuff and pictures and everything. And it's in Korean usually. And I know in China, I follow this lady on social media and she talks about like the netizens in China and everything that's happening there. I forgot the app that they're using though. I'm not sure, but if I find it, I can put it here. So maybe if there are specific like apps that are specific to like the country or the region where they speak that language, that could also be interesting. Also, following people in general on social media who are using that language or from like those areas, they'll probably write their captions in that language. So that's another useful way to use social media in order to practice your reading. Another thing, reading articles I think is good, and blog posts and newsletters. Are you interested in specific subjects? Like, are you interested in social media marketing, for example? I know recently I found a newsletter in Spanish that is geared towards social media marketing. That is something interesting to me and something that I probably would read. So figure out like kind of what your interests are and look online. Look and see if there are blog posts. Look and see if there are newsletters. There is a newsletter I know of where 5 days a week they send you a newsletter in French. It's geared towards French learners. And so you can get newsletters sent to you, and that's kind of useful as well. It's already in your inbox. I guess plug here, I also have a newsletter where hopefully weekly or bi-weekly, I'm gonna be sending out an email with the notes for the languages that I learned that week, as well as maybe some interesting videos, some updates. But if you wanna subscribe, it's called Fluency Farm, and link is down below. In addition, there are some websites that create news type articles geared towards language learners. So I know for English, if you're learning English, there's a website called Engoo, E-N-G-O-O. They have a news section where every day they write news articles geared towards specific levels, and they rank the levels of difficulty in English. Like, is this a beginner, intermediate, advanced? They include vocabulary words that are key to understanding the article, discussion questions, etc., etc. And I think there's another website called News in English that does something similar. So if you're learning English, there's definitely resources for that. Possibly there are in other languages as well. I'm just not 100% aware of all of them. If you know of something like that for other languages, let us know, because that would be nice. One more thing with reading practice, you can practice reading using the transcripts of videos or of series or movies you watch. So I don't know if you've noticed before, but if you go and read the description of a video, usually at the bottom it'll say show transcript. You click that, and then on the side it'll show you the transcript in the given language. You can follow that along. You can copy paste that into a document. You can copy paste the transcript in the language that they're speaking as well as the translation and study that. So lots of different ways that you could practice using that. Also look at social media graphics. So like on Instagram, there are a lot of graphics posted geared towards native speakers as well as learners of that language. And you can practice reading those, and it's like they're usually more aesthetic than just reading an article. You can have something visually appealing to look at.